latest poll in the race for Oahu's 1st Congressional District, Republican Charles DeJoux is now tied with Democrat Ed Case for the lead. And Democrat Colleen Hanabusa is not far behind them. According to a recent poll by The Atlantic magazine, Case and DeJoux are now tied with 32% of the vote, with Hanabusa in third place at 27% and 9% undecided.
Momentum has clearly shifted in favor of our campaign, and this is certainly something that I'm very excited about.
Hanabusa's campaign manager told KITV4 the poll results show Hanabusa's support growing and Case's campaign shrinking. But Case says the poll was probably conducted 2 weeks ago when his two opponents were running TV ads, and he was not. Now, KITV4 News and the League of Women Voters are teaming up for a debate with the three major candidates in the special congressional election. The live debate right here on KITV4 on May 7th at 7 p.m. Dan, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mehalani. And joining us this morning is, a candidate for governor, former Congressman Neil Abercrombie, and, of course, the special election is to fill your seat, sir. Thank you, and welcome back to the newscast. Let's talk about this latest development in the special election.
Right.
Does this dismay you at all? I think it would be. Would it dismay you the fact that if perhaps Charles DeJoux got elected, that one of Obama's biggest supporters, all of a sudden his seat is filled by a Republican, which would be big news nationally?
Yeah, well, I think that's what we have to keep in mind here. Look, let's be sensible. We have a small delegation. We have a delegation that's 5,000 miles away from Washington, D.C. We have to have a team. Mr. DeJoux is there for one reason and one reason only, to neutralize the vote of the other Democrat who's in there, Mazie Hirono. And I can tell you for a fact, Danny, that
Please continue, sir.
This is an improvisation, kids, as we go along. That we have to be sensible about it.
And
we have to be sensible about it, and let's start again, Dan.
No, go ahead. No, we can still hear you. Go ahead.
Of the microphone dropping here. The plain fact of the matter is that we do have this small delegation. We have to have teamwork. I've been a part of that team. I know what it takes. It's not a question of individuals as such. It's a question of can you put yourself together in a team basis. And that's why I think we're going to be electing a Democrat. Mr. DeJoux simply is there to carry out the attacks of the Republican Party on the president and on the Democratic Party. That will hurt Hawaii.
But there is a chance that the Democrats could split the vote. So even though he only wins 20–30% of the of course,
but
the voters
I've been involved in 2- and 3-, 4-way elections with Democrats. The Democrat is going to win.
Which Democrat? Who do you support in this? Ed Case?
I support the Democrat who wins. I think the one who's going to win is the one who will convince the public that he or she is going to be the best team member of our delegation. That's the important thing. It's not about the individual as such. It's because they're both good Democrats. The question is, do you vote for the person that you think is going to be the best team member for Hawaii? That's worked for Hawaii for 50 years. That's a winning combination. To send somebody to Congress that is going to break up that team, it seems to me, is something that is not going to happen.
Why won't you officially endorse either Ed Case or Colleen Hanabusa?
Because I think that either one of them are excellent candidates.
Okay. All right, well, moving on, because we are running out of time here, I have to ask you about the current protest right now at the state capitol, the sit-in. Now, you have been involved in a number of sit-ins yourself back in the 60s in demonstrations.
70s, 80s, marched on lines.
What do you make of this situation right now and the way that it's being handled by the governor with the sheriffs coming in and issuing citations?
I think it's an appalling situation. First of all, that office belongs to the people of this state. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to the governor. We occupy public office only with the faith and trust of the public. And in this particular instance, the governor clearly is the leader of the state, controls the budget process in terms of the allocation of funds. The governor should be meeting continuously and immediately with all parties to resolve the issue. This continued finger-pointing and accusations leaves the parents and the children as the victims of the situation.
Last question, quick question. Whoever the next governor is, do you think they're going to have to solve this problem, or do you think this is going to get solved before the election?
Well, I know if I was the governor, it never would have been a problem in the first place. You don't negotiate children's futures. You don't put instruction days on a negotiating table. But obviously, if it isn't resolved, I can guarantee you one thing. I'll be an education governor. That's for sure. I have my background in education. My commitment is to education. And whoever is governor has to be committed to education all the way, not committed to a personal political agenda, but an agenda that reflects the educational needs of the children of this state. If we're going to be prepared for the future, Dan, if we're going to have jobs ready to go, we have to have an education that is going to meet the standards required for that job possibility.
And I have to stop you there, sir. Thank you so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much, Danny.
That's right. Former Congressman Neil Abercrombie, a candidate for governor of